So like I said, I'm not a professional carpenter or form builder, so there's a lot of time lapse in this video. There's not much way I can condense this into a regular format and give it to you guys without doing a lot of time lapses. So I know a lot of you guys don't like the music and you like to hear the hammer swinging and the saws cutting, and there's some of that, but a lot of time lapse just because this took me a long time. This was days of me coming down here and fiddling with it and not knowing exactly what I'm doing. I was kind of building stuff and I'd be like, nah, I didn't like that, so I'd take it back off and redo it a different way. So the end result here I'm pretty happy with, and I'm certain that this is going to be plenty strong enough for what we need to do. But hope you guys enjoy. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, enjoy. Okay guys, so welcome back this week. I want to start off reminding everybody that this is not just jumping in the middle of a project. This is actually the continuation of last week's video. So if you haven't seen last week's video, the link's going to be in the upper right hand corner right now or down in the description. Click that and head over and check out last week's video so you're not completely in the dark here, or go back to the playlist which is also in the description, and check out the entire church series from the beginning if you want to. That could probably answer a lot of your questions you probably have about what's going on here. Anyway, we left off last week's video with I set the epoxy on this rebar for this wall I'm pouring, and we had to let the epoxy cure, and the epoxy has cured. Now I'm going through and I'm putting tie wire on all the intersections of the rebar and tying them good and tight so they'll be strong and rigid whenever I pour the concrete. So that's what's going on here, and everything else is explained in the video. Alright, we're going to go ahead and finish our inside formwork here. I'm going to nail a toe plate to the floor and another plate to the wall there so that the plywood has something to go up against. And then we're going to do our wailers and strong backs like normal. I didn't like the looks of that board. It felt kind of spongy. I suspect this floor to be very thin, so I'm going to put another couple small blocks behind this one for a little more stability. Like I said outside, you'd rather overbuild it than underbuild it because it's a lot of money and wasted effort if the form blows out. Plus a big old mess. All right, my favorite trick here for anchoring formwork to masonry is you take a 332's drill and you take a 16D nail and pieces of tie wire, and that thing anchors just as good as a Tapcon and way cheaper. So you stick your wire through the hole, stick your nail in there, make sure everything's lined up. Rock solid. Alright, so I just spent a little bit of time here playing on my phone. I found a concrete calculator online because math's not my strong suit, so I figure I better use the calculator and not screw this up. So my dimensions for the pour are 9 feet tall, 80 inches long, and 12 inches wide. So that gives us 60 cubic feet needed for this pour, or 2.2 cubic yards. And I was thinking about doing this with bags, and that's 99.75 bags. So I gotta do some thinking. That's a lot of bags. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do right now. Well, I'm leaving the church right now, and I was feeling supremely confident in my form design there. And like I mentioned before, I used to do this kind of work a lot, but it's been quite some time. Well, I wouldn't say I did it a lot. I was around it some, okay? I helped with it more than designed anything. But anyway, so I was feeling pretty confident, like I said, and then I sent a picture of the formwork to a friend of mine that still does all that stuff every day. And he said, probably add some stuff to that. So I am running to the store now to get some stuff to add to that. So I said we were gonna beef up this form a little bit. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna double up on a few of our whalers, and then we are gonna run all thread through the form and put it through the whalers on the other side and tighten it. You don't tighten it, but you snug it. That way when you pour the concrete in the form, you know, this is the form, it wants to go this way, so that all thread's in there holding it together. And we'll grease the all thread up before we stick it through there, and you should theoretically be able to just back it back out after the concrete's poured and cured, and you go to strip the form. This is not the type of all thread that you normally use for that. This is just typical mechanics all thread. The stuff for concrete forming has a much wider and deeper kind of rounded groove. It's like it's a very specific thread. Anyway, this should still work. This was what I had available to me without having to run all over creation to get it. And we'll be able to get this out afterwards if I grease it up good. So we'll drill holes through and go on the other side, drill holes, shove the all thread through, and put the whalers on. I had to drill another set of holes. I had a little bit of alignment issues. Somehow I measured wrong on the outside there. But we'll get them in there. Just for alignment purposes, we're going to throw our double whaler in right now, and then we will pull the rods back out, grease them, stick them back through. It's going to be hard to get these whalers in here since I really don't want to pull the form back apart. Got an idea. I had the answer to that equation here the whole time. BFH. Just need a little more persuasion. Got her up in there. All right, 2 more. It's a good 2x. What am I hitting? Whoopah! That was the easy part. So I lost some footage, guys. I recorded a time lapse of me stripping this form down and then adding those taller verticals and getting it to the point where you're seeing it right now, but magically it disappeared, so apologize about that. But alright, well, I've got everything kicked and braced, and I had to get a little creative here at the top of the form. I built these little kind of chutes here. There's only about 3 inches. That's where you're gonna have to pour the concrete to get down through there and shove the vibrator down through there to vibrate the concrete. That's looking down inside the form. All that's left to do now is pull the all threads back out, grease them up, stick them back through, and put the plates and nuts on them. Snug them up. Alright, I might not be a carpenter, I might not be a form builder, I might not be a concrete guy, but when it comes to greasing up my rod, I'm probably a pro at this. Oh yeah. And there's just no two ways about it, it's going to be messy. I can't quite get it in the hole. Why is it always me? That's one. We don't want to go crazy on them, just snug them up. Well, alright, that's the end of the video. That's how I put my forms together. And I'm no professional form builder, but I'm happy with them. I'm sure they're going to be plenty strong enough, and I'm sure there'll be some naysayers out there. So if you don't think they're going to be strong enough, let me know down in the comments how I could have beefed them up a little bit better, and if you think they're going to blow out, you better come back next week when I pour it, and you can see for yourself what happens. So this little clip here at the end, I don't know if a lot of people have caught on to what I do here every week. I always leave a little clip of next week's video as a teaser at the end of the video. So always do paying attention. You'll get a little taste of what's coming next week. But as always, guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. So I'll catch you guys same time, same place next week. Thanks.